So many people are playing Helldivers 2, and I'm one of them. I absolutely love the game. It's for democracy, spreading that freedom, and it's just amazing. I can't get enough of it. I keep playing it. There's so many of my friends playing it that we have to break up our parties. It's like, oh, sorry, we have 8 of us. We need to make 2 separate crews. And that's awesome. I love it. Helldivers 2 is probably the best implementation of what people are calling a live service game. It's well executed. It doesn't feel like a cash grab constantly. It doesn't feel like they're trying to take advantage of my wallet. Everything I buy is like, I still have to work for everything. It doesn't feel like anything's overpowered. It's just designed to be fun. And that's something I really, really, really enjoy about the game. These live service games are really kind of the new MMO. Think about Helldivers and think about something like Warframe or World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft has that open world where you're all interacting. Warframe is also an MMO that's somewhere in between, where it's like you have these missions and there's places where you can meet other people. But really, it's all about the missions, right? It's all about going on these missions, getting resources, getting objectives. Helldivers is like one step further away from that because you're in ships and you can stand on your ship like bridge and you can look at other ships. When you do that, it's almost like being in those public areas of Warframe or World of Warcraft. You're playing with everybody globally all at once when you're playing Helldivers because your actions matter. That change alone, I really think, puts it in the MMO space. I'm not saying that Helldivers 2 should be more like any of those other games. It should stay exactly how it is. It's beautiful and amazing, and I love the developers. They put out something so great. But I want to take a step back and recognize people have this really bad taste in their mouth for live service games because they've been done so poorly so many times. And I really think that we can look at the MMO space as the root of those issues. There's not really a really good definition of a live service game out there. There's lots of opinions and lots of versions of it. And it comes down to content that is regularly updated and released. MMOs generally fall in this category. We're seeing new expansions for World of Warcraft. We're seeing new, additions to Warframe. We're seeing constant additions to like Elder Scrolls Online, for example. That's an example of what a live service game really is. If you drew a Venn diagram of MMO types and live service games, I bet there would be a lot of overlap because they really are, a lot of them, the same thing. It makes Helldivers 2 different. It really more like a single player game. It's like a live service game disguised as a single player game, disguised as a co-op. It's weird. It's got so many different pieces of gaming implemented into it that really make it such an original piece of art. You should go play it because it's amazing. I have had opportunities where I have died laughing at points that it's like on a weeknight and I need to go to bed, but I'm laughing too hard to go to bed. This game is amazing. So definition of live service games. Really, it's just like long-term development. And it kind of stems from MMOs, right? You have that constant updating of MMOs, and then you have this early access mindset. It's been really popular since Minecraft came out. If you think about when Minecraft was released, it was basically just like a voxel editor at first, right? It didn't have survival. And then it came out with survival mode and had some rudimentary cool building basics. And then they kept adding more content, adding mobs, adding different bosses. And over time, it's just grown and grown and grown. And I'll make another video about what happened to Minecraft another time, but that's a whole other story. The success of Minecraft caused a lot of other games to realize that they don't necessarily need to release all of their content at once, because if you release it in bits, you get re-engagements. There's this common joke that people that are into Minecraft go through like a once a year Minecraft binge with all their friends where they play for like 40 hours in 2 weeks and then they just don't touch it for a year and a half. And you just keep picking it up. And I believe that part of that is the new content updates, but also it's just like a really good core game, of course. But live service and, these content updates, the goal is to re-engage folks. So, for example, Warframe, right? Warframe's been out for many, many years, and it's an amazing game. But the thing that got people coming back is they would play it and, all these cool things. The new pieces of content would come out, whether that's the open world or the railjacks, the crazy awesome story missions, which I really recommend Warframe if you're looking for an MMO. It's awesome. Community's pretty great. I think it's a great spot to play. But anyway, that's a whole other point. But these content updates make people come back to your game. Now, taking it a step further with Helldivers 2, this is where things get really interesting because Helldivers 2 is constantly updating, right? You have this war with the automatons and the terminids, and they're constantly pushing on both sides, and you know that they're going to be releasing new stratagems, new enemy types, right? We're going to see there's all these rumors about the Illuminate and the cyborgs and things like that. So stay tuned. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. But the reality is there's just so many opportunities for growth, and they keep just slamming us with new stuff all the time that keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting. I know several people that are at that level 50 mark in Helldivers 2, meaning they're done, right? They've unlocked everything. They're good, right? They don't need to play anymore. But they keep playing because the game is interesting and you have this emergent gameplay that is truly special. So Helldivers 2, awesome game, amazing. I really think, and at the core of it, and I know I've said this, but Helldivers 2 is an MMO at heart. It's because when you're playing on a mission, right? Like if I go on a mission and I'm liberating a place from terminids, right? I am protecting Super Earth as well as all my other people, right? It's not just necessarily me playing a mission in Halo that has no effect on all the other different matchmaking, all the other games that are going on in the world, right? So it's like you have people that are playing in the Terminid War or the automaton fights and whatever, slaving away in robot Vietnam. And the reality is, even though we're not on the same map, we're still playing together because we're embracing this world that is influencing each other. If I work hard and I liberate a portion of the Terminid space, then that frees up soldiers to go help out the people that are working really hard on the automatons. And I reckon, it's all whatever. Like, who knows if they're even keeping track of people, but that's what they say. And that's what's important, is what it seems like. And that's what it feels like. And when you're playing the game, that's what it is. And I've had experiences in Helldivers 2 that are similar to the experiences I've had in different MMOs. For example, the other night I was playing and it was after midnight and I was like, okay, time to go to bed. But my buddy was just on my ship and we were just like hanging out on the bridge, talking to each other, just chatting away about how much we love the game and whatever, and life. And because we caught up inside of Helldivers 2. And that's pretty common in a lot of games, but it felt very MMO-esque to me. It felt very similar to how I used to play Warframe or how I used to play RuneScape even, right? Like all of these different games where you're interacting inside of the game with each other. And so I'm going to read the definition of an MMO. This is on Wikipedia. A massively multiplayer online game is an online video game with a large number of players on the same server. MMOs usually feature a large, persistent open world or universe. These games can be found for most network-capable platforms. MMOs can enable the players to cooperate and compete with each other in a large scale, and sometimes interact meaningfully with people around the world. I feel like that's Helldivers 2 to a T, other than the large server, large number of players on the same server, right? Like I couldn't gather 100 people in Helldivers together, but I can look out and I can see a bunch of ships all on the same planet, liberating the same planet. So there's a few little like tweaks you can make, but the reality is it feels and plays like an MMO. And I think that's what's important. You're gathering resources, you're building things, you're improving yourself. It's never PvP, right? It's all PvE. So anyway, long story short, go play Helldivers 2, go buy a war bond, got to keep Super Earth safe, all the things. Hope all of you have a really good time. Check out the rest of our content. A lot of it's VR, but we're making a little bit of a shift to more just general video game content. So let us know what you think, and I hope that your next liberation campaign goes well, and keep on keeping on.